Today, I'm going to make Tacos Gobernador, or the governor's tacos. This is going to be good. Okay, so I'm going to start this entire recipe video by making homemade flour tortillas. You don't have to do that, but I like to. So here I have around 3 cups of all-purpose flour. It's, to be exact, 400 grams. To that, I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Mix that. Now I'm going to add a 1/3 cup of butter. You could add a 1/3 cup of shortening, a 1/3 cup of lard. If you prefer to use oil, add a 1/4 cup or 4 tablespoons of cooking oil. That also works. I like to use bacon grease sometimes. And if you want a more in-depth recipe video for flour tortillas, I'll link a couple of those below. Okay, so once this is mixed, I'm going to be using hot water, as hot as your hands can take it. Okay, this is 1 cup. Start with like 3/4 of a cup and start mixing it carefully. You can even start with like, you know, a wooden spoon or something that doesn't. Let's start working that in. Okay. Now I'm going to combine, mix everything together. Keep it in the bowl for now. Okay, I'm going to start kneading this on my work surface. Grab some flour, flour your work surface. The dough is sticky and tacky. Now, if you find that the dough is dry, then don't flour your work surface. You might need to add more water. But I'm going to knead this for about 5 to 10 minutes until a smooth dough ball forms. Now I'm just going to separate them into at least 12. I'm going to go for 14 to 15 dough balls. Now that the dough balls are separated, I am going to place it back into the bowl. And just kind of shape the dough balls and repeat the process. Here I have a damp cloth, and I'm just going to place it over all of my dough balls and rest the dough for at least 15 minutes. I'm going to lightly sprinkle my work surface. Now it's time to roll these out. I'm going to take one and bring it over to my flour. Use your rolling pin and let's roll it out. You want to be careful not to use too much flour because it will work back into the dough. If it shrinks back too much when you're rolling it out, you need to rest the dough longer. Okay, so now I'm going to take this over to the bowl and hang it over the edge and repeat the process for about 4 of them before I start to cook them. I have my preheated griddle and I'm going to cook the tortilla. It should bubble up within the first 10 seconds of placing it on your griddle. If it doesn't, it needs to be hotter. Okay, I'm going to place it in my basket here carefully, and I'm going to wrap it and just repeat the process for the other tortillas. Here I'm working with a pound of large shrimp. I've already cleaned, removed the tails, deveined. I'm working with half of a large onion, diced or chopped. I roughly chopped 3 large cloves of garlic. You can finely mince it. Here I fire roasted 1 poblano pepper. What I did is put it on an open flame, charred the exterior of the skin. I placed it in a bowl covered with cling film. I let it sweat. Then I cleaned the stem, seeds, and chopped it up just like this. And you can also substitute it with jalapeno or bell pepper if you don't want anything spicy. Here I have 2 Roma tomatoes that I chopped. And I will be seasoning with a variety of seasonings. Season how you like. I'll let you know what I season it with as I'm cooking this. I'm gonna start with some olive oil, maybe a tablespoon. Saute my onions. Pinch of salt, and cook these until they are sauteed and translucent. Now I'm going in with my garlic, tomato, little pinch of salt, okay, so at this point, you'll also want to saute your fresh jalapeno, or if you're using bell pepper, but since I fire roasted my poblano peppers, I'm gonna add that after I add the shrimp. A little more oil, add the shrimp. I'm going in with lemon pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, smoked paprika. So I'm going to use half a teaspoon of each. You can, my son's in the back, you can season how you like. Use the ratios that you prefer. Some salt. Now I'm going to quickly saute. Now I'm going to add my peppers, the shrimp is done at this point, so I'm gonna shut off the heat. And my shrimp smells and looks amazing. So this is ready. Okay, so here I have my tortillas, homemade. You can use store-bought. I have shredded cheese, Oaxaca cheese, any melting cheese that you prefer. And I have my delicious shrimp. You guys, I could eat the shrimp just like this. It's so good. So I have my griddle preheating. I'm using a spray oil. This is not Pam. This is literally just oil. But I'm gonna oil the griddle. You could use butter in place of oil. I'm gonna place my tortilla in the center. And I have this on a medium-low heat. So I'm gonna go with cheese first. Some of the shrimp. Some cheese. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna fold it over as carefully as I can. It's hot. There we go. Okay, so now you just get it crispy on each side, get the cheese melting gooey, and you have a delicious taco. Oh my goodness. Oops. Oh, that looks so good. Tacos Gobernador, the governor's tacos. So good. Crispy on the outside and gooey in the center.
I hope you give this recipe a try. I hope you like it, and thanks for watching.